Earlier on, you mentioned personality. How does personality play a part in your success as an editor?
I think at the end of the day, when you spend hours upon hours together with people, oftentimes more than your own family, I think personality is a huge part of the makeup of an editor. It's probably about one third of our job. And I learned that early on as an intern that, you're in college, you want to show that you're smart and all these things. And I learned very quickly that it really wasn't about being the smartest guy in the room or trying to impart that I know certain things. It was about who can be the most helpful. And that's where I found that I was able to understand the difference between what personality matters in a room, when to speak up, when not to speak up, which battles to fight for in the cutting room, which ones you have to go and leave alone until, if it's a feature film, there's stuff that the editor, has been sitting with the material for a long time, longer than the director has. Directors going through and making their days and sending the material back to you, and you guys are collaborating along the way. But you've seen all this material and you kind of get a sense of what works and doesn't work. And sometimes you have to just make your point with the director and then leave it go. And along that 10 weeks of the director's cut, let that moment that you've been sort of arguing for or really fighting for, let that moment emerge. And sometimes it happens in screenings as well, where the thing that you've been talking about, the audience says the same thing. And it's a little bit of validation of, yeah, so now let's really look at that. And that's a personality thing where you can be able to make your point, but not make it personal. Just to be able to go, hey, look, I'm just trying to, in service of the film, in service of the show, whatever it is that we're doing, just have it be about that. So I think that's a really critical, our jobs are one part sort of technical, another part creative, and another part is the personality and your ability to operate under pressure and your ability to suggest things that may solve problems. I always feel like no matter what your job is, Joaquin, that all of us eventually are paid in direct proportion to our ability to solve certain problems. And how you go about doing that. And it's a gut feeling thing. When I'm interviewing with people, I think a lot of the jobs that I've gotten is because I don't come in, I'm not that threatening of a guy. And I've always just been authentically who I am. And I've prided myself on being prepared for the opportunity. So I felt confident in that way. So I think the people that I've been interviewing with and ultimately have been hired with and now have gone on to form long relationships with, in their gut, they just felt like this is the right guy. Even in instances where I may have not been the most experienced guy, it's like he will fit into our system and he will learn what it is and how we go about doing things. And we'd love to have his perspective on board.